make sure.
Shiny like good shiny.
All right.
Like James Brown?
Nah, like James.
We already recording?
Yeah, just have it going just so you can start whenever.
All right, bet. And we're live.
All right.
Yo, what's going on? You're now tuning in to the Homie Devs podcast. We have a special guest in the building. We have Jamie. You know what I'm saying? She is a connoisseur of wellness. You know what I'm saying? She does yoga. She does the alkaline diet. You know what I'm saying? And she also inspires people to live just, generally a healthy life. So, can't forget this. My man Jay Harp on the engineering, you feel me? And we could just go straight to it. So Jamie.
Yes.
The reason why I invited you onto the podcast was because I felt like you had a lot to offer, not only for the female perspective, but on as far as diet, as far as spirituality, as far as, you have your own business. So when did this journey of spirituality start?
Man, from birth.
From birth?
Nah, but realistically, I feel like it's been a slow roll. And, over the past few years, I'll say at the start of my adulthood, at 18, is when life started to really shift and I started to see the world in a different way. I started to ask questions, and I think that's how a lot of spiritual journeys begin. People start to question things, and, you kind of mold into adulthood itself. Gaining that perspective was definitely an interesting time for me. Throughout high school, I was definitely more introverted, and I always felt different, but I never had the answers of why I was different. And I think over the past 10 years now, it's again, it's just been a slow roll, but yeah, it's hard to pinpoint a starting point. That's why it's hard to answer that, because it's now with the perspective that I have, I could say it was at birth, because I understand what life is and how we truly do have purposes, and it's no coincidence that we're here today, that we're speaking, having these conversations, or that I'm who I am and that you're here with your platform. So yeah. So
what kind of questions were you asking yourself?
Everything, who am I? What is life? That age-old question, what is life? I remember just staring in the mirror this is whoa, I'm really alive. I don't know, it was a turning point where I started to really feel there's more to the story than what it appears to be. And I felt it intuitively. I felt it within, and I knew that I just felt like God had a plan for me, but it was a lot of times where I felt how can I be this person? I see the person that God made me to be, but there was many times where I felt how am I supposed to get there? How am I supposed to be her? I didn't feel like I had the wisdom yet, but I had the knowing.
So what kind of differences did you see, versus yourself and your peers? I know there was a distinct difference.
Yeah, it was always love. I feel like I've attracted good people in my life. But I think it was just a perspective. I felt like I was beyond my years, especially in high school. And certain times, people want to do certain things. I would have fun. I would go party. But that's not really what I wanted. There was a part of me that was longing for some type of guidance, some type of insight, deeper insight than what was available. And because it wasn't available externally, that forced me to introspection very early on.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is there a certain person that kind of helped guide your decision or guide your way of thinking, to think bigger or more spirituality?
Shout out to my grandmother, my great grandmother. I just want to bring her up because I grew up in, like most of us, in a religious background. And I say shout out to her because even though my spiritual practice is not the same, those roots of love and like the principle things, those are things that I already knew. And I think it did ground me, like knowing that there is a higher purpose, knowing that we are spiritually in tune, knowing that, I do have a plan for my life. Like, even though I didn't have the answers, that was my internal guidance system. And that was my foundation just from my family. It was always a foundation of love.
Was this journey
Yeah.
easy? Because I feel like the more you know, the more like...
No, it was not easy at all.
Okay, yeah.
No, and I said that to say, just to get that out there, like, I feel like all of that matters. Because my spiritual practice now compared to that of my great-grandmother is completely different. But it's rooted in the same things. And I say that to say, like, those foundations, I felt like really were able to kind of carry me through the darkness of spiritual growth and transformation, and like the concept of heaven and hell. I realized that that's an emotional construct. That's a basis of like what reality we choose to be in, and having to navigate through those dark places. No, it was not easy at all. And I think it's like a constant evolution.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
I feel like when I came into the truth, like, because I believe in the Bible, and like my uncle said, like, bro, as soon as you pick up that cross, you're going to go through hell.
Yeah.
And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, what do you mean I'm going to go through hell? I'm trying to get closer to God. What does that mean?
Yeah.
But he was like, nah, like, he going to test you. Like, he's going to test you like no other. Like, do
Yeah.
you really want this? Do you really want to be here? And honestly, like, I felt like I hit rock bottom more than once. But I
Yeah.
always, like, got back up. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
and it was something always, like you said, it's something in you that makes you, like, just drive toward that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I definitely understand what you say. Like, it's not easy. It's not
Yeah.
easy. Some days I really want to give up and be like, all right, fuck this. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I just can't.
And I wanted to, like, I made it a point to elaborate on that and the root of it, because at the end of the day, we are living this human experience, and there's going to be tests and trials and tribulations, and all of these things come up to give us opportunities to become a better person. And early on, that's something that I had to realize, like, okay, I don't like how I feel. I don't necessarily like what's going on around me. Really, I'm the only thing that can change that. And I think that's a continuous theme, like, because you never stop evolving. Like, there's always a new test, a new door to break through. But I feel like the more and more we overcome those moments of feeling like we're at rock bottom, we just get stronger. And then each door stops looking like the enemy or like a scary thing. It's like, it's a challenge, like, but it's like, ooh, okay. Like,
Can you share?
I'm excited now to overcome this obstacle.
Okay. Can you share a little bit, like a little insight on what rock bottom looked like to you?
Yeah, man, I'll say the first rock bottom, just to relate, just to show the origin story. I remember being in high school, feeling very lonely, but not knowing how to articulate that. Feeling misunderstood, feeling like I was different. And that made me go to the point of, like, you know what, ignorance is bliss.
Right.
You know, I tried to convince myself that, like, I just wish that I didn't have to think like this, or I just wish that I could just be normal. And I tried. And that's when God really came, like, oh, you want to be normal? Let me show you what this normal life about.
Right.
And I think that's what made me really see, like, okay, I have a purpose, and I'm not meant to dwell in these type of energies, especially if everything inside of me is showing me that I deserve better. I'm looking into the mirror and I'm seeing this type of version of myself, but at the time, that wasn't the reality. So really having to, like, come to terms with, yes, that's me, but it's gonna take some work to get there. But I have no choice but to go on the journey. Like, the journey is for me anyways, and I know what's at the end.
Right. So as far as purpose goes, what do you feel like your purpose is toward? Like, is it healing? Is
Man,
it creating? What do you think?
know, that's a good question. As of recently, I feel like it keeps coming up that my purpose is to share my journey and express that and show that, not to use my spiritual insight or anything like that as something to put me on a pedestal, but to show like, hey, y'all, I understand. I've been through it, and shine that light. Shine whatever light that is inside of me, and shine it as much as I need to, so that it can reflect onto other lights and be an inspiration.
So essentially,
Yeah.
like somewhat of a healer.
Yeah, definitely healing. I do spiritual healing, hands-on, like Reiki healing, sound healing.
Check out her live, y'all.
Yeah, I do intuitive reading, I'm a spiritual channel. It's been a lot. But I to sum it all up, I feel like it's just me cleaning up my vessel so that spirit could work through me and I could reflect that out. And I feel like that's what my purpose is. So whether I'm doing it on a podcast, whether I'm doing it on live, where I'm doing it documenting my 30-day raw journey, which I just did, if anybody wants to check that out. Yeah, I'm a creator, and I'm owning that, because for a while I used to feel like I didn't know what to call myself. But now I'm like, I'm a creator. And
simple as that.
yeah,
You know
and
what
I
I'm
want to
saying?
shine my light.
So what can we expect you to create, like in the near future? Are you working on anything?
Yeah, I really have a strong passion for women's wellness, to inspire other women to become more in tune with our bodies and how sacred that is, and the magic that we can cultivate. Emotional healing is a major thing, whether that be through physical practices like self-care, yoga, exercise, reflexology, or whether it be from something more intuitive and conversational, learning how to express our emotions, and like not even just the feminine aspect, the masculine aspect as well. Like, but again, I'm in my own journey, so it's like the more that I learn, I'm always just put in the position to express it and share it. So it's constantly evolving.
Okay.
Yeah, that's definitely a focus for me.
So what kind of people have you ran into on this journey? Has it been like helpful people, or people that want to, like, energy vampires? Like, we know those are real.
Yeah, those are real. Yeah, let's get into that. I've been across so much, and those are all part of the test. And that's something that early on, like I said, I had a basis of, give thanks to my parents. Like, they really made it an emphasis to show me that love, like, be loving, like, be a genuine soul, have a pure heart. But I also had to learn the hard way, like, don't let people take advantage of you. Like, don't just be out here like
Not everybody has good intentions.
yeah, like, don't be out here like slipping, just shining your light everywhere, thinking that, not forgetting that,
So
it's a jungle. So
being this person, how do you even protect that? Like, how do you protect being this loving person?
So like I said, tests, because luckily I have beautiful people around me that have been able to help me on my journey that I've come across. A very dear friend of mine. But like I said, early on I encountered a lot of tests of, like, when I began my spiritual journey, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm spiritual, my vibration is lifted. You spiritual too? Okay, bet, like, we could be best friends, like. And I had to realize, like, whoa, this is everybody that's spiritual. All spirits aren't good. Like, all spirits aren't working for the light. All spirits aren't just like that. And I definitely had to learn the hard way, like, because I have this thing where I tend to see the good in people. And I used to think that was a bad thing because of having to learn the hard way that not everybody has good intentions. But now I just know how to protect myself. And I know how to be a light, but not just be out here just vulnerable and open. And that has come from trial and error, just having experiences that teach me, like, okay, maybe it's just kind of like the analogy of, like, you put your hand on the stove, you realize you get burned, so you next time you do it differently.
Okay.
But yeah, having the spiritual aura, like practicing having my aura built, like a energetic field around me, affirmations, crystals, like all different types of ways, and really just having that knowing, like, I know I'm protected. I'm walking with angels.
Okay. So does this have anything to do with, like, I know you do hair, so like how does this tie into hair? Because I know hair is really important.
Yeah, that's a very sacred practice.
Yeah.
I really take braiding hair, twisting hair. I really take it seriously. I started doing hair in high school, so I didn't know, like, all of these things. The reason why I felt alone, I felt all these different things. I didn't realize I was an empath. I didn't realize I was absorbing energy from my friends, being a healer before I was a healer. You know, certain things. Luckily, I've attracted so many good people, clients, and all that. But just being in the field of, like, being a hands-on type of profession, I definitely have to have I want to say, like, a routine from, like, okay, whether I'm doing hair or whether I'm doing any type of other service to someone or with someone, I have a routine to where when I go home, I sage my energy. I might take a salt bath. Like, there's certain spiritual things that I just have to do for myself, so that even if I'm taking on energy, I'm not harboring it.
Right.
Because I realized that through my spiritual journey, I was harboring a lot of energy from all types of places, probably from childhood, just from being, like an empath and someone that holds energy. And I used to hold energy for others because I felt the obligation to do that because I wanted to help. But I realized that's not helping nobody if I'm just holding on to all this energy. I can't even be my best self. You know, it's not my job. So I'm, like, learning, helping myself, evolving myself, helps everybody else. So
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. So what kind of success have you seen, like, doing hair? Because I know you said you've been doing it since high school. What kind of success have you seen?
Yeah, I think the number one success is being able to connect with so many different people. Like, being a hairstylist. Also, like, it's a creative outlet for me. I love to create, braiding new patterns and, like, learning new styles, changing my own hair. That was always something that was fun to me. And I like to make people feel good. I feel like getting your hair done is a very sacred experience. You know, we end up talking about life and having, deep conversations. And a lot of times my clients come through and share some wisdom with me. And I'm like, wow, like, I was really meant to do your hair today. Mm-hmm. So definitely that.
Little funny backstory. So back in the day, I don't know if y'all seen it, I had fake dreadlocks. Fake dreadlocks. It was crazy.
Yeah,
I had
man.
it for like 2 days, maybe. I don't know.
They took like 2 days to put in.
No, facts. It took like a whole day. I was in the chair all day, rocked it for like 2 days and was gone. Like, it was crazy. I don't know, y'all. I was going through something. But it was fire. It was fire until it wasn't.
Yeah.
But now that I realize, like, doing the natural journey is definitely different. Like,
yes,
I appreciate it more. I'm having trouble washing my hair, so I might have to book.
Yeah,
I might have to book.
I got you.
But yeah, man, that's a funny backstory.
But shout out to that though.
Yeah,
because that itself, like, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Back then, I had the vision. You had the vision of who you are today. So that's probably why you was like, oh, I seen the vision. I see myself with the locks. Let me hook it up. Mm-hmm. But now look at you. You got the real locks. So it's like, yeah, I can relate to that. Sometimes I look at old pictures like
why did I do that?
But at the same time now, I look at that like with joy. I'm like, wow, look at younger me.
Hey, man,
younger
that's how
me
it
would
goes.
be proud.
All right, y'all. We're going to take a brief intermission. This is the homie Dev. We got special guest Jamie in the building. We're going to be right back, all right? Peace.
Good morning. Raw. Coming up like the sun every morning, giving light to the world. I do this for my mama, my daddy, they children, and everyone who know 'em. Yeah, I do this like freeze tag and then sex. I do this like he's ill but he's next. I do this like steroids and a bench press. My movements like hip hop in a headset. I'm too alive, I just might live again. Okay, I'm lying, coming back is a definite. So forever I'm infinite. Until my death I will never quit. Yeah, it's suicide when I hear myself. Genocide when I sell 1,000,000 records. And I get it poppin' like a beverage. So don't be acting all special. Until then, bow your head, get this blessing, raw. And from the crack of dawn, you know I get it on. And baby, from the crack of dawn, you know I get it on. I do it like I'm made for it. Yeah, so baby, put my name on it. Yeah, I do it like I'm made for it. So baby, put my name on it. Raw, yeah. Infinite. Welcome.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. We are back. This is the Homie Devs podcast. And again, we have the special guest, Jamie, in the building. And don't forget, we got my man, Jay Harp, on the engineering. We're going to get straight into it. So we got a game. What is? Basically, Jamie is going to give me I'm going to give Jamie a she's going to give me a number. And I'm going to give her a word. And she's going to describe what this word is to her. All right? So we're going to get straight into it. So, Jamie, go ahead. Give me a number 1 through 50.
50? All right, we're going to start with number 3.
Number 3. Number 3 is, what is love?
See, I knew I chose the right number. Dang, okay, y'all gonna make me get poetic.
Hey, do you think?
What is love? Love is a infinite expression of our true emotion. And I think our truest emotion on this planet, the only emotion that even created us is love. So, yeah, it's a cliche answer, but we're gonna leave it at that.
No problem. Go ahead, give me another number.
7.
7. What is happiness?
I think happiness looks different for everybody, but I would say that happiness is being in a state where you can almost kind of be in that childlike state of like your happiness is not determined by anything else. You're just happy. And being able to be present. I think happiness requires being present.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Go ahead and give me another number.
43.
43. 43. What is integrity?
These are good questions. Integrity. I feel like integrity can have multiple meanings. But I think it comes back to being accountable, like being accountable to your word, being dependable, like, and that could be dependable or having an accountability to yourself or to others, like being a stand-up girl or a stand-up guy. I feel like that's what integrity is about.
Sadly, I feel like that's a rarity now.
Yeah. And I think it starts with self again, like discipline, having the discipline to have integrity, because I think you need discipline to have integrity, because sometimes people have the right intentions, but integrity goes a little bit further than intention. It's like you said it, so you're going to do it.
Right.
You said that's who you are, so you're going to be that. Yeah. Integrity.
Okay. Go ahead and give me another number.
36.
36. What is luxury?
That's interesting. Luxury. I think luxury is number one. Let me just say this. I feel like on a spiritual journey, when I first began, I used to think that having nice things was like, I only seen it as being vain, or like I thought that was something I had to shed, the desire to have nice things or the desire to be fashionable and be creative with certain things, because it seemed in my mind that being spiritual was like to just be okay with minimalism and like the essence of spirit itself. And I think it starts there, but I think the true gift of spirituality is being able to express yourself and experience all of the gifts of like what this world has to offer. So like luxury is something that is spiritual, and we do deserve to have nice things. So I don't know how to describe luxury, but I feel like
So it's like a luxury to be spiritually
yeah, and I think a luxury is something that comes with some type of like hard work, some type of sacrifice. Like it's something like a reward. Like whether it's you have the privilege of luxury from the hard work of your parents or like the hard work of yourself. But I think luxury does come with the price.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead and give me another number.
47.
47. 47. What is drugs?
What are drugs? What are drugs?
What are drugs?
Because
I feel like
what are drugs?
I feel like drugs.
Pharmaceutical
like people
drugs?
People can be drugs.
Drugs are drugs. Okay.
Substances.
Yeah. Anything could be a drug. You're right. Drugs. I feel like drugs are things that we use as a clutch or as an escape mechanism or a coping mechanism to avoid healing. And we could look at that as like physical drugs, pharmaceutical drugs. Pharmaceutical drugs tend to not really cure things, but they tend to lessen the symptoms until something else manifests. So I think we could look at that like on a scale of other things, like using a person as a drug or using a habit, a tendency. It could be small, big. If there's an addiction attached to it, then it's a drug.
Right. Yeah, I feel that.
Like for example, just to share something, I've been eating alkaline for the past 6 years. And to the rest of the world, like, oh, you eat clean enough, you don't need to go on a cleanse, like, you know, the average person. But I knew that the relationship that I was building with food was becoming like a drug to me. So I said, you know what, I need to go on a raw fast, take a moment, even though the food I was eating is healthy. But it takes that, like, again, that self-reflection, that self-accountability to know, like, am I using this as a coping mechanism, or am I using this just because I want it or because it's what I need?
Right.
And, like, I just say that to say it could manifest in different ways. It doesn't have to be something that's harmful, killing you. Like, yeah.
I feel it.
Hopefully that makes sense.
I like that you said coping mechanism
Yeah.
because I felt like I was using drugs like weed and alcohol for a long time. Like I've been smoking weed since I was like 13, and so it was like it wasn't necessarily that I needed to smoke weed. It was just like every time I felt a certain way, I wanted to smoke weed. Like you feel me? Like just
like
let me go ahead and suppress this.
I know it's gonna take it away.
Exactly. But when weed didn't work out, that's when I started drinking. Like, it just wasn't strong enough. So it was like I feel like drugs come in they come in packs. Like you're not just gonna do one drug forever. You're gonna do multiple drugs. You're gonna start doing weed. You're gonna start drinking, and then once that doesn't work, you're gonna start maybe pills. Just it's just a snowball effect.
And that's manifesting in our world.
Yeah.
You know. And that's why I said it could be anything. And like that same analogy, like let's use the perspective of like using a person as a drug. Like you want more and more from this person, and when that person don't give you enough, you searching for more, and it's like then you realize what you're searching for you'll never find because really just numbing a deep repressed pain, or like you know what I mean. So it's like the drugs are just something you just numb the pain, but it's like the pain always comes back
full circle.
Yeah. Sometimes worse than before.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts. All right, go ahead, give me another number.
22.
22. What is power?
I think power is confidence. Like confidence will take you very far, and I'm learning that you might not be good at something, or maybe not as good as you can be, but if you have that confidence and the willpower to know like I can be that even if I'm not that right now and I'm confident with what I am, and I mean obviously power could be looked at like other perspectives, like people abuse power and all types of power, but I think that's the important power to
like perspective and confidence
and discipline brings power.
Okay.
Because when you're disciplined and you have the confidence, you could achieve anything, and then you become like powerful.
Facts.
Yeah.
Go ahead and give me another number.
11.
11. What is sacrifice?
What is sacrifice? Sacrifice. These are all kind of going together. I feel like sacrifice is something that you have. Some sacrifice can be defined as something that needs to be let go of or that needs to be released in order to gain something.
Is there a moment where you felt like you had to sacrifice something to gain something better?
Yeah, all the time. I had to sacrifice my cravings during my 30-day raw food fast. Or I had to sacrifice my old self to create my new self. Like, sacrificing an old perspective, sacrificing old friendships that I don't want to sacrifice, like, but all for the greater good. And just the knowing that if it's really meant to be there, it's always going to be there.
Right.
But not without the sacrifice.
Yeah.
Kind of like that test, like, you really about that life? Like, okay, let go then. Like, just jump. You believe me? You trust me? Like,
yeah.
Like, okay.
Because, like, I feel like the closer I got to God and I learned what it is, like, we're supposed to do, I learned that we're not even supposed to, like, celebrate pagan holidays. Like, that's not even for us. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
like,
right. I didn't think about that type of sacrifice.
Yeah. And then, like, when I'm telling my mom this, she's like, what? Like, what do you mean you're not going to celebrate Christmas? What do you mean you're not coming to Thanksgiving? Like, we've been doing this for years. I'm like, well, we're not supposed to. Like, do you want to live by God? You want to live by yourself? Like,
and that's a sacrifice to have to be the bad guy sometimes, or have to be different. That's a big sacrifice, because it's like sometimes you have to sacrifice, or I'll say I've had to sacrifice the possibility of me looking a certain way because I have to trust what God has given me. I have to trust my inner spirit, and it's out of my control. But that's a challenging thing, like, especially when I care. I used to really care about, I don't want nobody to think anything bad about me. I want everybody to know my true feelings and my heart. But sometimes it's like you gotta just do what you gotta do and trust that if they feel you, then they gonna feel you.
Yeah. Like you said, jump.
Yeah, sacrifice.
Go ahead and give me another number.
16.
16. That's my number. What is a friend?
What is a friend? I feel like a friend is someone that can be a that's a very I could answer that like a million ways. So let me just think of one explanation. I think a friend is someone that can be a listening ear, a non-judgmental ear, but like also like I believe in tough love too. Like I think a friend is somebody that could tell you where you're slipping or tell you about yourself from a place of love. And then also be there to tell you like if somebody else or maybe the things that you don't see about yourself, the good things, like if I'm talking down on myself and my friend is like, no, you're a goddess. Don't worry about that. You're a boss. Like, you got this.
Someone to essentially
a
like pick
support
you up.
system.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like it should always be a two-way street. Like, a friend is someone that you could pour into them and they could pour into you. It doesn't matter how often or how it comes across, but like it's rooted in love and it's rooted in good intentions to where it don't matter how often we talk. It don't matter anything. You're just my friend. If you're my friend, you know me, you feel me, I feel you. And those are the real friendships. Like, through time and space and lifetimes, like, you really my friend. Yeah.
All right, last one. Go ahead, give me another number.
Last one. Did I already do 33?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, 33. Best for last.
What is hope?
What is hope? Hope is the ability to, having hope is the ability to have faith or optimism to a better reality, even when your physical reality doesn't line up to that. Like, hope, like, you have to really believe that it's possible.
And when's the last time you exercised hope?
Every day.
Every day?
Every day. Yeah, I'm always hoping for a better reality because I feel like, why not? Why I'm not going to think. I've learned, like, just seeing how far I've come, just like we spoke about high school, I could really reflect and remember looking into the mirror at times. This would be like when I graduated and being at a point where I kind of was at that ignorance is bliss state and I thought I wanted to be normal and that life had to throw me on my behind. Mm-hmm. Looking at myself and being like, I see who I am, but I don't know how I'm going to get there.
Right.
Let me just take it one step at a time. Like, that's hope. Mm-hmm. And it got me here. It aligned me. It's like that same thing. Like, I'm somebody that I put a lot of expectations on myself just because I feel like I have a lot of potential and I don't want to waste my potential. But I've also learned like it's a delicate thing. Like, I need to be gentle with myself too and just know that potential, as long as I walk in alignment, that I could be that. And it's not always easy to have that perspective. Like, I know what it feels like to be stuck or to feel like trapped in your body, like to feel trapped down by whether it's mucus from all the food you've been eating or whether it's energetic demons, whatever it is, cycles, fears. I know what it feels like, and it takes hope and it takes dedication. It takes hope, integrity, friends, all these things that we spoke about, love. It takes all of that, but really, like, from the perspective of like being your own friend, being your own disciplinary system, having integrity to yourself, having love to yourself, having power. All those things we talked about. Like, I feel like, yeah, I don't know if I kind of got off topic, but yeah.
I feel you, because like I was watching like old videos of myself, and I could see somebody like that wanted to get out.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to get out of my own flesh. I wanted to get out of my own way. And it was like, how can I do that if I'm always drunk? How can I do that if I don't even like myself sober? You know what I'm saying? And I had to really learn, like, well, who am I? What don't I like in particular?
Yeah.
How can I fix this? You know what I'm saying? And I think, you know, it took me giving just a little bit of love to myself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Giving myself some grace, giving myself the benefit of the doubt of like, nah, man, you can change. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to be this person. Like, just because, like, you know, family members have like pointed the finger at you and be like, you just gonna be this. You don't gotta be that.
And that's the grace of God, though.
Yeah.
Because it's like, then we realize, like, why am I judging myself? Like, I have life. Like, I was given life. I have this beautiful opportunities in front of me. I have potential. I'm alive. Like, I deserve that.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts. So go ahead and tell the people where they can find you and follow you.
Yes, you can follow me on Instagram at Alchemami Amoori. Alchemami.Amoori. You probably list that so they can spell it right. I got fake pages, y'all. People got fake pages of me, so don't fall for any of those. I also have YouTube. It's Alchemy with Amoori. The same @ name. Yeah, that's pretty much where all my stuff is right now.
And if y'all want to get y'all hair done, y'all know where to go.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? She got a shop.
Hair breeding.
All that.
Yeah.
Official.
Get you right.
All right. And this is the Homie Devs podcast. My man Jay Harp on the engineering. Thank you again for coming through.
Having me.
You know what I'm saying? Great conversation. And stay tuned, y'all. Peace.